my name is Courtney. I use they, she pronouns, and the title of the program is Clinical and Counseling Summer Minor and Certificate. It's a summer minor certificate program for students who are interested in working in the realm of psych to learn more about career paths in clinical and counseling psychology. I thought it gave a really good opportunity for students to explore the psychological fields through the lens of the experts in the field. Like, for example, if you have a passion for educational or therapeutic psychology, how would that translate into a job post-graduation? I thought it was a really good certificate program to be a part of because it helped me reevaluate what my plans were post-baccalaureate. I went into this minor thinking that I was for sure going to want to go through the PhD route. And I was very, very sure of that until I met all of the possibilities out there when learning about them over the course of the minor. It was a really good chance to review your options as well as learn more about other possibilities. Some of the courses really go into the pros and the cons of masters or the PsyD programs that are out there, and really being able to weigh whether or not that is a route that you would want to take. For Psych 170, clinical and counseling professions, I remember learning about the biopsychosocial theoretical approaches and really breaking those three down and learning how that translates into professions in the psychological realm. For Psych 138, Global Mental Health, I remember the class taking a much more international approach rather than the traditional approach to how classes are taught with psych in regards to America. For example, we learned about the differences in classifications according to the ICD compared to the DSM-5 TR. Traditionally in psychology classes, you really just hear about the DSM and not so much about the ICD. So it was really nice to learn about the differences in those classifications as well as disorders. The class also touched on cultural and global mental health issues and topics, like how disorders may look different in one culture or location. But for example, schizophrenia is the most generalizable syndrome across the world in that it looks the same regardless of culture or location. For Psych 139, clinical case studies, I remember us learning about infant mental health and how professions in this realm will see children as young as a couple of months old into adolescence and learning body language and nonverbal cues and how to communicate with children when they don't even have the language for that. For Psych 136, human sexuality, I remember learning about the human reproductive biology and all of that terminology that comes with it and how it's functioning and how it's used, as well as hormones and such, and learning a lot about human sexuality, feeling like I thought I knew a decent amount when it came to that, but the class still surprised me and I learned more about that. The typical length to complete the minor or certificate program is usually about 2 summers. In my case, I did it in one. With the summer that I did it, we had 3 sessions available for classes. So that was session A, D, and E. And I was able to pick classes to be 2 classes in session A and 2 classes in session D, which really helped, even though it was a full-time summer and sometimes I would be in a classroom for up to 6 or 7 hours a day for multiple times a week. But because I was able to divide it all out in a better way over the course of session A and D, that made it a little bit easier to complete it all in one summer. My advice would be that I would check in with your advisor on course offerings for the summer. And I also recommend, if you are a graduating senior, to reach out to your advisor to talk about options. I was someone who was just about to graduate from Berkeley, and I was really scared that I couldn't do the minor because I thought once I had completed a degree, I had to go. But I spoke with Jen, and she told me that I could stay behind for the summer to complete the minor. And now with the certificate being an option, students who are graduating seniors have the option to take some classes in the summer after their graduating or estimated graduating term and come back as a visiting student in the next summer to complete the certificate.